1956, which led to the 1956 treason trial. Before the end of the treason trial, he wrote to Prime Minister for vote to include a national convention on a non-racial constitution, and failure to adhere would result to a national strike. In August, he was arrested and charged for leaving the country without a permit and inciting workers to strike. He was convicted and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. On 9th of October 1963, he was on trial with 10 others for sabotage in what became known as the Revolver trial. On the 11th of June 1964, Mandela and 7 other accused were convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. He was later released from its gates on Sunday.
Hello and thank you for joining the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. Today on the program, President Tinubu and Obasanjo meet at the inauguration of Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State for second time in office. And later on the show, Wike summons emergency meeting over worsening insecurity in FCT as Patami accuses security agencies of not using NIM, same policy to track criminals. I'll be hanging out with Mojid Jamiu and Paul Dada. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin with political rivalry, which should not necessarily be antagonistic. The inauguration of Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State for second time in office provided a ground for President Bola Tinubu and former President Olusegun Obasanjo to meet for the first time after the 2023 presidential election. During the ceremony, the two exchanged pleasantry and shook hands. Gentlemen, MJ, during that time, the campaign period, Olusegun Obasanjo did not hold back where he supported the candidates of the Labour Party all through and through. And attempt even by Bola Tinubu to visit him, to even get his endorsement and everything, fell on deaf ears.
I saw that picture yesterday, especially the handshake, and I was reading 1,001 minutes. I mean, to that, no, not this one. Okay, yeah, this picture.
Yeah.
I could imagine President Tinubu telling Baba Obasanjo, Mr. President, see me now. I could imagine Obasanjo responding, President Bola Tinubu, Afigato Joye, no. Imagine all those things. So now let's flash back to the electioneering when Asiwaju went to visit Obasanjo in Ota. And the former president, Okikiola, was neither here nor there. Not support. The following day, he wrote a letter to the youths urging them to support Peter Obi. But with God, whatever will be, will be. Today, Asiwaju is president of Nigeria. And why is everybody writing about Obasanjo and President Tinubu's meeting yesterday? Jonathan was equally there, but that didn't quite catch attention. But because of the significant role that Obasanjo played in ensuring that he did everything possible to stop a Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency by going all out to support Obi. That's why, I mean, the cameramen who took those shots yesterday, I think they deserve a lot of kudos. I mean, there are 1,001 captions that a good editor could write from that picture, especially that handshake. There was even a hug. I could imagine the exchange of banters in Owerri yesterday between the present and the past. The last time they met like this was like 2003 when Obasanjo was president and he came visiting. Tinubu was governor of Lagos State.
They've never been political friends. They've never been on the same side of the divide.
Yes.
Since the beginning of this political dispensation, since 1999, they've always been at, you know.
But if you look at their history of political rivalry, you will see that President Bola Tinubu has always bested the former president. Remember that in 2023, when PDP took all of the southwest except Lagos,
Yeah.
and I think, you know, then Obasanjo was a very, very formidable politician, but he saw a worthier rival in President Tinubu. However, for me, what I see in all of this is that politics does not have to be toxic. You know, I imagine that if Peter Obi and Atiku had been there also yesterday, they would have all shaken hands. You know, you see, for me, I think people who follow politicians should learn a very good lesson. You know, we may have different ideas on how to move the country forward, but every good Nigerian wants the country to move forward. We may not agree on the way forward, but that is not why you should hate me or take me as your enemy. A lot of relationships have been permanently impaired over the exchange of toxic exchanges that ensued during the last electioneering season. In fact, people lost friends. And there are people that weaponize religion. Some people, you know, we may disagree, but when you begin to say, look, take your own political idol, if I may use that term, as God's chosen, and then the other person that is supported by others is a devil, then it's something very terrible. Now, politicians, political actors will always do this, even if for the camera. Yes, they will always do this. You won't see them exchange physical fisticuffs or verbal fisticuffs because they are on different sides of the political divide. So it's a lesson for those who follow these men, for those who admire these men, that don't let these differences, our divergent opinions, don't let those descend into what? Toxicity. And that's a lesson we should learn.
Ultimately, this will there be a time that there will be a kind of agreement between these two elder statesmen? Do you see that coming soon?
I don't see that happening.
Politically?
In fact, as a matter of fact, somebody just sent a message to me that when are we going to see the first letter, the first love letter from Obasanjo to Tinubu. Tinubu has been writing letters since he left office in 1979.
Obasanjo?
Obasanjo. He's been writing letters. He wrote several letters to Jonathan, to IBB, even Buhari. We are yet to see. Maybe it's still
early.
It's still early. It's still cooking it. But then, for President Tinubu, he has just one choice. He must make sure that he delivers on his promises and, if possible, outperform Obasanjo so that he can have a point to say that, yes, you didn't want me to get there. But the signs are already showing. But Tinubu should build on that and ensure that the way he was able to survive despite the withholding of council funds in Lagos for almost 2-3 years, and use that opportunity to build the revenue of Lagos. It should also use that magic to ensure that it delivers on the task of moving Nigeria forward as the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So no option than to deliver.
Yes, no option than
To avoid
that is the way to answer your critics, to prove them wrong. Our Obasanjo will always write. He has that fair chance for writing. I think it's his hobby. He enjoys it. So he wrote when Yaradua was there, if I remember. He wrote when Goodluck Jonathan was there. He wrote when Buhari was there. And people say, look, the only person that Obasanjo is satisfied with is Obasanjo. However, Obasanjo is just one Nigerian. It's just one Nigerian. The president cannot be distracted by whatever the Obasanjos of this world thinks. Let him just continue to focus on delivering good governance, and that's it.
All right. As Nigeria continues to contend with aftershocks of petrol subsidy removal, any situation to warrant a similar experience would be detested. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, said the federal government is still subsidizing electricity because the current tariff that the distribution companies, DISCOs, are allowed to charge is not cost-reflective. According to the minister, the federal government spent about 700 billion naira in 2023 to subsidize electricity. And if tariffs are left at the current rates, it is projected that the government will spend about 1.7 trillion naira to subsidize electricity, which is unaffordable. Mujid, we are still smart. We are yet to recover from the removal of petroleum subsidy. And this removal of tariff from the electricity will be a big disaster.
I'm happy that the minister, Bayo Adelabu, made that pronouncement in Ibadan Disco yesterday when he visited. Why am I saying this? Ibadan Disco is one of the worst discos. And unfortunately, it has the largest coverage area, servicing, I think, about some parts of Lagos, Ogun, Kwara, Edo, Ekiti, and Oyo states, Ibadan Disco. IBEDC, Ibadan Bini Disco. So now he went there, and the disco is already in a retainership. It's been taken over from those who bought it. Now it's owned by the federal government and AMCON, so to say. So now
it has failed.
It has failed. But now they are trying to get it up. So that's why I was not surprised that another disco failed. I think Kaduna Disco, the government has also taken over. But this Ibadan is actually, and the kind of services you need to see, go on their Twitter X handle and see the complaints from customers. It's like they are doing. I expect that the minister should start showing that yes, it means business by getting a proper management in place in Ibadan Disco. Now, to this 700 billion, government has no choice than to continue subsidizing, but then to ensure that, because all over the world, it's either you are subsidizing agriculture or electricity or fuel or education or one thing or the other. But we have seen that our subsidy regime in the energy sector is failing, especially or has failed. But thanks to President Tinubu for removing the subsidy in the petroleum sector, which is benefiting just a few. So the one in the discos, not only Ibadan, they are not injecting more funds into the power distribution. It's as if they are just collecting money. No, it's still into three parts. There is a storage aspect, there is a distribution aspect, there is the generation aspect. So the transmission company of Nigeria, the TCN, transmits from the bulk energy to these discos who distribute to the homes. Now, it is the discos that interfaces with we consumers. And at times you see they are happy to give you estimated billing. The meter they are supposed to give you, they won't want to give you so that they can continue to give you arbitrary fees. So this 700 billion per year, yes, we are, at least consumers are feeling it, because if you actually look at the cost of alternative power, diesel or even gas or even solar, electricity is still far, far cheaper, even at the present rate, although they need to do more. Because what we have now, most areas, I mean, it is even worsening at this during this dry season. The heat is unbearable, and you can see the national grid is collapsing almost on a hourly basis now. So the effect of this subsidy must be felt, while consumers should have more hours of uninterrupted electricity. This goes to spend money on the distribution. They need to.
So, do you see us sustaining this? 700 billion naira is not a small money. If that is pumped,
But
in a sector, it's.
Honestly, I don't know how long we can sustain it, but it's something that it cannot go away for now. It is not everything that a government has to subsidize certain things, actually, really. But if you listen to the minister, he also said something. He said, yes, this subsidy is a burden, but it will continue until the power situation is better.
That is it.
Now, I think subsidy is one of the least, it should be the list of our worries in that sector. There are so many problems. Yeah. And sometimes you see this blame game from generation to transmission, from transmission to distribution. Now, the gencos will say, okay, we have generated this. Now, it is not the amount of power generated by genco that is supplied, that is transmitted by the TCN. And then TCN said, look, we have supplied this amount of power. The discos do not even have the capacity. Even their facilities, do they even have facilities that are good enough, that are strong enough to distribute power? Then we still have the problem of gas. Okay. Sometimes it's gas supply. All of these things are there.
I have a caller. Adedoja is calling us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Go ahead, please.
I would like to say that the problem with electricity is the same problem with education, with every other aspect of Nigeria. We are not making progress in that area. That's the investment that is committed in terms of funding to electricity every year.
I can barely hear what Adedoja is saying. So
we need to overhaul that system, the way the whole thing works. Then alternative to what we have now. Yes, it's true, solar may be more expensive, but if we invest more, if we invest more, governments invest more in solar and other alternative forms of power supply, we may be able to reduce the pressure on what we have, the system we have currently. But removal of subsidy, electricity subsidy, no, it's a no.
We have a situation whereby the people that actually purchase these government facilities, they don't have the capacity to fund it. And even they've been taking out, it's on record that they've been getting bailouts from government.
Yeah.
So how are we going to continue this marriage?
I urge the minister to carry out an audit of how much each of these discos have invested aimed at improving the infrastructure they meant on ground. Because it's as if they are clueless. Between November 1 and ending of November, there was crisis. People could not, even if you buy, for those who have the prepaid meters, if you buy the token, you couldn't load. Some people were out of, there was power outage in so many homes for up to a week. They were clueless because they did not invest in infrastructure upgrade. It shouldn't be this difficult. And that's just a small technical glitch. And they were pre-warned that by so time, these meters would expire, you will need to upgrade them. If you send a code to whatever thing they said we should register with your NIN, we did the registration, we did everything, yet nothing happened. I mean, so many people are, it's not as if you don't have the money, but you can't even activate the token you have bought to give you energy. And it's a failure of the kind of infrastructure they were deploying. Some of them have just been cashing out without actually putting back. Despite the fact that government is assisting them, giving them several bailouts. Although there's also some federal government institutions, several corporate organizations that are owing them. But that is not an excuse. If anybody is owing you, you call the person off your grid.
Okay, I have a joke calling from Majibo.
Yeah, good day.
All right, go ahead, please.
Please, it's unfortunate that the Honorable Minister is making that submission. It is the public that is subsidizing government. The community will buy transformer for you to be connected to power. We ask the electricity company. They'll be asking 5 million, 4 million, 6 million. Then it is the community that will buy pole. It is the community that will erect the pole. Every material that they need, it is the community that will provide. And at the end of the day, they will still pay. So where is the subsidy? I don't think I will agree with the Honorable Minister. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Because that's the reality on ground.
In fact,
if you are staying in a new site now and everything, it is the community that will come together how you provide transport.
You know, I find it very sorely upsetting.
Do you have any problem?
I find it so sorely upsetting that these discos, they still behave like the old NEPA, like PHCN.
No, nothing has
changed. The reason you had that unbundling was to foster some effectiveness in the system.
To run it
the same thing. You have to buy your transformer. You have to buy your cables. Why? It's like saying that a telecoms provider you need to buy the mast that they have to come and install in your area. I mean, they are private companies. They're supposed to be very viable, but they are not. So the last thing to be talking about is subsidy. We don't even want to hear about that. Let us bring some efficiency into the system. Like MJ said, there has to be an audit. Now, you're talking about moribund and comatose distribution companies that government is taking over. It's terrible. So let them put that sector in order. Because see, Ayo, we need to be very serious with power generation. There can be no meaningful economic growth without tackling power. This has been part of what has hobbled Nigeria's growth economically. Even though we make some progress, but sometimes it looks like we take one step forward and two backwards. Let's fix this power problem. We've been talking about it for long, since the days of NEPA, PHCN. Now we have discos, the PE-POPs, or what you call them, and then we still have the same problem. So let them go and put their house in order first, before they start talking about removing a subsidy or something.
Now, we cannot, the agreement, the contract that was signed with this company is so stringent, we cannot just opt out. So this is a catch-22 situation. How do we help?
No, really, why I raised the issue of the audit is the fact that I think there is a time frame. I don't know now whether it's 5 years or 7 years for it to be reviewed. And that's why Ibadan Disco and I think Kaduna Disco and one other disco, I've forgotten now, they had the contract revoked. So I think government should engage the PSC, the audit, internationally reputed audit firms, the Pricewaterhouse of this world, to embark on an audit of all these discos. So that they can't just be taking Nigerians for granted. Yes, we have some issues with TCN, but see, some of them are still using the switch gears they inherited from ECN, not even NEPA. Electricity. And these are switch gears that you need these switch gears to ensure that there's a load balancing, there is proper storage of the. So now, if your transformer breaks down, like the person that called said, if your transformer breaks down today, the transformer that you bought, if it breaks down, you will be the one to pay for it to be fixed. And after fixing, they will tell you it has become one discourse property or the other. It is shameful.
Olaife is calling us from Ikeja. Thank you for joining us.
It's not audible.
All right. We'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Please stay with us.
Heading home from work, in the busy traffic, your car breaks down. Car horns blast. Your car is pushed aside. You call for help. Phone battery blinks and dies. You take a cab. Few miles, tire bursts. What a day. Frustrated, sweating, and tired. Nearing home, darkness envelops the street. Wow! Just one house is bubbling with life. Brilliant lights, loud music, smiling wife, all welcome you.
We alone have light?
Yes, it's JRB Solar Energy Systems, my anniversary present to us.
No matter how dark life is, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar street lights and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. JRB, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do.
Thank you for staying with us. As Nigeria's commercial capital and industrial hub, Lagos remains the biggest sub-national economy in the country. The state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has signed the 2.2 trillion naira 2024 appropriation bill into law. At the signing ceremony, the governor, Sanwo-Olu, assured residents of the state for effective implementation of the estimates tagged budget of renewal. Let's share the story with you. MJ, 2.2 trillion naira. That's quite ambitious.
Yeah, Lagos remains the center of excellence and the commercial nerve center of the country, and a subnational that can accommodate a $20 billion investment with the Dangote refinery. No, it's not a joke. The beauty about the Lagos State, this budget, is the fact that it's going to open up a lot of job opportunities. The governor was very specific. He said he is bent on completing ongoing projects like the Okpebi bridge that will link Odoyalaro.
I don't know how they intend to achieve that.
Yeah, like
I have seen.
Yes, you can see the platforms coming close to yes.
See, Yalaro Bridge.
Things like that. Then the red line, which is expected to come on stream this first quarter.
And we now have blue and red line.
Yeah, and so many others like that. So completing the projects. And one other significant thing which the House of Assembly did to assist the government, they increased, the Assembly said, we want you to be able to complete some of these projects. So they increased the budget by about 26 billion. Yeah, through their ways and means, through their oversight functions. And also, in the past, recurrent used to be more than capital, but now there's a reversal. 55% or 1.2 trillion of the Lagos 2024 budget is going on capex, the one we call the capital expenditure, while 44% or less than about 1 billion is going on the recurrent, which has overhead, salaries, and stuff like that. So more as you're having more going into capex, which is the capital expenditure, you are opening up the job market. More projects,
infrastructure,
more job opportunities, because as these monies are going out, of course, artisans who will supply one thing or the other, who will do bricklaying job or something at these construction sites will get paid. And I think for me that is very key.
A lot of people will still say Lagos is that land of opportunity that you don't need to have a cover. You enter Lagos and if you are diligent enough, you can solve problems that you can become a multimillionaire overnight.
I was going to say that when you said it's a land of opportunities for not just the diligent, for the smart. Because you can be diligent, working from morning to night, and just motion without movement, you know. So
the market is there, over
the
20 million.
of course, that's why you see a lot of people come to Lagos. But even those who don't live in Lagos, they come to trade in Lagos, do business in Lagos, and go back home. Well, it's a very good one. I was especially excited about the fact that 55% is going on capital expenditure. You know, when you have if you have much of your budget, the greater part of budget going on the current expenditure, you are not really what you want to ask yourself, what is going to be the outcome of that? You know, but then I just want to. I don't know. I know that there a lot of projects are ongoing. However, I just want to talk to Lagos State government. There are some people I call the other Lagosians, or the other Lagos. There are areas in this state that do not enjoy much of government presence. For example, if you go to Ayobo is in Alimosho. Alimosho has the highest population. Ayobo has a very big high population of Lagosians.
Densely populated.
If you go to Ayobo, you have lots of estates in Ayobo. This estate, that estate, but their roads are in bad shape. You don't want to go there during the rain season. In fact, if you get to a place called very close to Hancock University that belongs to Deeper Life, there's a road that's off that main road that goes from Yanokpaja to Ayobo. There's a road called Ashikpa Road. That Ashikpa Road takes you down to a place called Pako. You can link Igondo area and then Ikotun. That road is in bad shape. You don't want to drive on that road. I mean, yeah, people live there. So, Lagos State government should think of that. As people see, you see all those, you see the bridges, you see the trains, you see the
areas you get to in Ikorodu.
Paul, the way you are describing that Ayobo is like you have somebody who's or somebody is giving.
No, it's not only Ayobo. There are places. He just mentioned the Ikorodu as well. I just gave that one as because I'm familiar with that area, that part of Lagos.
Not the agric area, but when you go into Ikorodu,
shower.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Agric.
So let us remember.
Don't feel the president.
Let the government also remember those places. I think the Lagos State government has tried, all the different administrations from the time of Ashiwaju up till, although I don't want to do grading now. I know that I will score some governors above some other ones, but I don't want, but let's just say they have tried, but they can do better. They can still do better in so many ways. They can touch so many lives, touch so many areas. So we want to see them justify this, the performance of the budget. We want to see how it's going to perform. And we want to be able to say at the end of the year, say, okay, yes, Governor, you have tried.
If you get transportation rights, you know, in Lagos, things will be easier. So we don't have to all put our vehicles on the road. And if you can perfect that blue and red line, it's going to be very, very nice.
Yeah, it's no government can succeed in fixing all the roads, except because the resources are just limited. Even in some other communities.
There are some major roads in Lagos
that
are not tenable. You can't be telling me no government can fix Obakran Road. No. State capital.
Wait.
The dilapidation of Obakran. What are you talking about?
The roads, AY. Roads are...
Area F in front of Ogba.
See, we were somewhere today where we were discussing that Excellence Hotel area. And I think I heard that work will start there next week. Some of these things, they are not as easy. I have been in government. They are not as easy as, you say, ABC. Honestly. But I'm not giving an excuse for government. Why people must feel governance. But I have been there, and I know the way these things work. Files must move before, you can't just say, fix that thing and it's done, like you have in the private sector. So that's why we need to understand some of these things.
Okay, we have a caller. Olamide is calling us. Yes, Olamide. Thank you for staying with us.
The network.
Are you there?
The network.
Okay. So
it's an Herculean task, but then they have elected, someone who elected to govern us with the, a campaign that, yes, he begged us, and we voted for him. So he shouldn't give us any excuse. He must go out there and work. Of course, he's working. But I must say, I know how these things run. It is not easy. Especially you see so many things contending for the same resources. How many of us are paying taxes? In a state of 22 million people, we are not up to 1 million that are paying our taxes. Yes, it's a fact. We are not up to 1 million. And out of the 1 million, the tax that really matters, not the tax that people like me and you pay. The tax that really matters is not up to 10% of the 1 million.
But Lagos anticipates a high GR of 1.2 trillion, which is something very, very much above what some other states are getting or are going to get. I understand what he's saying, but we cannot be making excuses for government.
That's what I'm saying. We are not making excuses for them, but we also have to face the reality.
I want to say something.
There are about 6,000 roads in Lagos.
Well, okay, we're talking about roads. What about investment in health sector? If we go to the primary healthcare centers, most of them are shambolic. No drugs, nothing. I used to know one very beautiful edifice. You will not find people there. You will not find people there.
There's no excuse for that. I think we should also call the local governments to order, because Lagos is one of those few states where the local governments receive their allocation directly without any interference.
Those ones are not even doing anything. As far as they're not even visible.
They are just building lock-up shops. That's what they are building.
I normally say something. I normally say something. We focus so much on the center and the state. But I'm sure many people don't even know who their local government chairman is. I used to know one. Who was one part of Lagos. After he became chairman, I learned he went to build his house in Abuja or something.
There are some roads that Sanwo-Olu does not even need to hear about it.
I agree.
The local government should fix.
I have Nasiru from Mowe.
Good evening.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Nayo.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, and your guest today.
All right, you're live.
I appreciate this program. I'm just coming in from Ibadan now. I live in Mowe here. Hello? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. I have to take you people back a bit. I love this program very much. I know Mayor, I know Ayo, I know Otitoloju. People should keep it up. About this power supply is the problem. We know IBDC have problem. No doubt about that. That is not what I'm talking, and that is not what I'm saying. Why will my neighbor beside me, even if there's supply, we have power supply, I will not have. As I speak with you, I can avoid to be on gas on my gen. I can avoid to buy petrol. I have the capacity. But there are some other neighbors that don't even have these needs. They can't take their baths. To get water is difficult. Extremely difficult for them. At times I give water to people when I'm around. Yoruba will say, I will interpret it to even the Chinese beside me, Chinese foreigners in my domain, in my environment, they used to have power supply when this thing is available. My community in Adeson will not have. My community in Adeson, we are in darkness. Personally, people can attest to this. I all light at night. That is the street light for my community. Security, this thing is even security for the community. Thank God the DPO in Mowe is trying. My brother, please help us look into this. The minister, I know he is my good brother too.
If you talk to Dr. Dakwa, anytime you pass through Mowe before, they live in another world. The planning of that place, for you to address the problem of that area, man, that is do a lot of restructuring. And finally, now, when there's fire on the mountain, people must run for safety or solution. In the face of the rising insecurity in Abuja, the minister of the FCT, that Nyesom Wike, summoned an emergency meeting with security agencies and other stakeholders. Meanwhile, a former minister of communication and digital economy, Issa Ali Patami, has accused the Nigerian police and other security agencies of refusing to use the NIN SIM policy to fight insecurity in the country. What do you think is wrong here?
Honestly, this is the part of, this is the topic that actually makes me sad. Especially given the recent kidnapping and
we spent time,
events in
went
Abuja
to
and all of that. Now, if I just remember the NIN, how the torture Nigerians went through to get enrolled in NIN and all of that. This question is what some people around me have also been raising. That, okay, what is happening to NIN? What is happening to tracing these phones? At least these kidnappers, when they call the relatives of the people with a phone number, either they are using the phone or maybe they are using the phone numbers of the victims. Is it that those phones are working or those lines are working and they are not registered? Or what? I also understand that those of them that are very close to our neighboring countries, like Nigeria also, they cross the border to make that call. But we still know there are people that call within the country. So to me, it's like we are gambling with people's lives. And I think we are becoming impervious to the horror that people are going through. It seems that insecurity, kidnappings, abductions, killings have become part of our life as a nation, that is almost becoming a normal thing. And I don't think it's right. Because we keep talking about this. It happened at the time of Jonathan. It got escalated at the time of Buhari, and then it continues. But the first function of government is actually to secure the citizens. And I was thinking, I said, look, President Bola Tinubu has been going from place to place, from country to country, trying to get new foreign investors. Now, this kind of reports of kidnappings, killings, and all of that do not encourage people to come invest. So these are capable of undermining every effort the government is making. And that is why if the police, if the security agencies need to do something to make sure that we nip this thing in the bud, let them do it. So Pantami should know better, because it was under his watch that the NIN thing came about. And I know that he had something, according to him, he even said that people were threatening him then, because they were like, okay, you want to stop us from doing what we want to do. But then, if he's saying this, he knows what he's saying. I think we should do something about it.
And we thought that was going to be deployed, and it was going to be difficult for these people to call, to get their ransom, to negotiate ransom and everything. When immediately we went through the stress of the NIM.
Yeah, it's not only through NIN that whether you register your phone. These guys are quite smart. There are some numbers now that will call you. You would think they are calling you from UK.
Yeah,
they are.
Okay. Just hold your breath. Let's take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. We'll be right back after this time out. Stay with us.
In today's world,
Our lifestyle, both at work and at play, depends on connectivity. Our connectivity depends on the devices that make it possible, and these devices depend on electric power. When power fails, our life shrinks, our work drops, and our joy dips. JRB Solar Energy Systems are here to ensure that we enjoy uninterruptible power, uninterruptible joy. Whether you're running a business, an institution, or just a home you return daily to rest, JRB has got you covered. No project is too big for our super digital inverters, long-lasting batteries, and efficient solar panels. Go. Dream on. Change your world. JRB Solar Inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights, and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. With JRB, the sun's gonna shine on everything you do.
Thank you for staying with us. Yes, MJ.
So the issue of kidnapping and banditry is going digital. And I expect our security agencies to also step up their game. Now, it used to be kidnappings, terrorist activities, and banditry along the expressways. But now, they drive straight into people's houses in FCT, in Abuja. That's the seat of the federal government, Buhari and some other areas, to go and kidnap people right in the comfort of their homes. It's quite worrisome. And also, the minister was saying that we, the media, we are overblowing it. We are not overblowing it. Look at the case of that lawyer and his family. He was kidnapped alongside his children. They killed one of his, killed his daughter, and was still demanding 60 million.
They raised it to 100 million even.
Yes.
It's 100 million now.
And we are saying we are over reporting this. No. Government must be able to provide security. Now, each time I want to go to Abuja, I become scared. It's scary for me. I don't think that should happen in the federal capital, or even not even anywhere in Nigeria. Now the highways are a bit more secured. Those guys have, they directed their this, and now they are going into people's homes. So I think something should be done about it. And like a senior colleague was telling me yesterday, he believes that most of the people perpetrating these acts are not Nigerians. Because how can you be heartless? A 13-year-old was killed, victim of a kidnapping. Very heartless. And I think, as the minister was meeting with security agencies in Abuja, the IGP also today was meeting with the rapid response team, the special squad, and the task force to be headed by a DIG in charge of operations. So I think beyond these meetings, we want to see this thing nipped in the bud. We can't be asking for foreign investors to come, and we are saying Abuja is not safe. And they want to be scared in coming. We want people to live in peace. We want a situation where Abuja used to be very safe and sound, but now it's becoming really scary. But I think the minister and the security agencies should ensure that, yes, they don't give Abuja a bad name.
This is like a big embarrassment.
It is.
The seat of power is not safe.
It is. And, it makes me sad that what we have been doing in this country is to just mourn and make promises. We've done that too much. Make promises, we'll nip it in the bud, we'll get this and that. The government, people will issue statements, this is wrong, we so and so condemned it, and blah, 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 until the other one happens. And then we do the same thing, we condemn, we do all of that. So all of these meetings they're having, they should produce results. We want enough of action, more of action than talk. If you need to call a security summit, okay, so map a way forward. Let's do it, but let there be tangible actions. We've talked about state police, for example. I don't know why it's so difficult. It's been something that Nigeria finds difficult to do. And then we know that Nigeria is under policed. The other time, I think I was here on Wednesday, I talked about the forest guard. Not long after that, I heard that the president, I think 1 or 2 days after that, one of his aides said the president is thinking about forest guard and then thinking about advanced technology. Yes, but let us put all these thoughts into action.
Action, yeah.
Nigerians will be happy. Nigerians are not asking for too much. They just want to live their life. They want to eat. They want to security. They want to be secure. They want to know. There was a time I was living in the 2002. I was living in Kaduna. The only thing we were afraid of were highway robbers. I mean, people were afraid to travel by night. You understand? Although I used to travel by night, but now we are afraid of bandits and all of that. And many people are even afraid of traveling by road. And not so many people can afford to travel by air. Yeah. So what is happening? So we have to change. Let's talk less and act more. That's it.
No, but the crime rate in Lagos reduced considerably, and from the report of last year. And I think the police command in Abuja should just take a cue or learn from what RRS is getting right.
See, when we are commending the Lagos state government, I mean, it seems as if we are talking too much. For the past 5 years, there has been no single case of bank robbery in Lagos. For 5 years.
Yeah. So,
and it didn't just happen in a day. See, I've had it. Somebody wrote something on X recently, and I've had a personal experience. You don't have to know the RRS commander. Put a call through to the RRS. In 10-15 minutes, they will be there. And that is why it is almost impossible. Of course, we still have some pockets of hijacks, maybe all those characters robbing people in traffic once in a while in the evenings. But it has reduced considerably. And the level of security in Lagos, that's why my brothers from the East, most of them spent their Christmas in Lagos. Because
it's calling us from Abuja.
Lagos is safe.
Oh, good evening, Ayo.
Good evening, Buga.
Good evening to your colleagues there. My name is Benga from Abuja.
All right.
This security in Abuja is just something, something coming new. Remember, about a year plus or 2 years ago, the University of Abuja was attacked, and they kidnapped some lecturers and some people there.
Yeah.
And there'll be some kidnapping around the boundary with Koti, Abaji, and boundary with Kaduna and Niger State. But it came to a time that they even entered the FCT. They killed some brigade of guard. Brigade of guard are the military guarding the seat of power. They call it brigade of guard. And the government then rose up to the occasion, and they were able to calm things down. This time around, maybe because of change of power or because of the new commissioner, this thing is rising again. So we want to call on the minister to come to the occasion. That FCT is seat of power. You can't mean attracting investors when your seat of power is under threat of insecurity. Going to estate war fence, kidnapping people in estate. Some places in Abuja, you can't walk in the night. Some guys will hide under flower, under the tree, and come and attack you. But we are saying that the minister should sit down and work in FCT.
Thank you.
Be secure.
Thank you, Bunga.
Because
thank you for your contribution. So,
Wike is now Minister of Abuja. He should leave Rivers and face security in yes, he has his hands full in Abuja. He should tackle this security in Abuja and leave is it Fubara, Fubara. Let him take care of Rivers. We want him to face Abuja. The kind of energy he used in ensuring that was security in Rivers, in Port Harcourt, he should deploy that same energy to ensure that there is a security in Abuja. Day in day, make we day our day. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, taking it from where he stopped, I think Wike boasted that bandits used to fear him. That when they heard his name, they feared him. So let him instill that fear in the criminal elements that are kidnapping people in Abuja. He is so to speak, the governor of Abuja. So let him do what he has to do.
I want to thank you, Paul Dada. Thank you for your contribution. And thank you, Muji Jami, for your contribution. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 for Journalist Hangout. On Sunday, we're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozuba. God bless Nigeria.
Hello there, it's a brand new quarter and your favorite program, CAC Weekly, is about to unveil new innovations fresh from the Nigerian Company Registry. Have you heard of the Extensible Business Reporting Language Standard for filing of electronic financial statements? Do you know that there's so much you can do on your own on the company's registration portal, CRP, from the comfort of your home or office? The CRP offers, amongst others, end-to-end electronic registration solution for accredited customers and the general public to initiate and complete pre-registration and post-registration applications electronically, online filing of annual return, online registration of limited liability partnership and limited partnership. See you there.
From the valleys through the hills and riverbanks of Kogi State, we bring you update on the developmental and economic activities of the Kogi State government under the leadership of Governor Yahaya Adoza Bello on Confluence State Today. From road construction to infrastructure, health and human capital development, we take you on a journey round the 21 local government areas of Kogi State on Confluence State Today. Kogi State is moving forward. Our people are enjoying the true dividends of democracy. Confluence State Today, showing at this time.